Here's Joe Biden from yesterday speaking at the joint event.
You all knew it was coming. You could have set your watches to it. Donald Trump has already started his attacks, calling Kamala, quote, nasty, whining about how she is, quote, mean to his appointees. It's no surprise, because whining is what Donald Trump does best, better than any president in American history. Is anyone surprised Donald Trump has a problem with a strong woman or strong women across the board?
So this is just a great Joe Biden trait. And he's not afraid of having a strong woman by his side. In fact, he's married to a very strong woman. And I'll say it again. I tell this story a lot. I love the way that Dr. Jill Biden worked as a community college professor throughout the time that Joe Biden was serving as vice president. It's so out of step with usually how things go in Washington. And even my mom went through it, where she had to, struggle to have her career, but then stand by my dad's side at the White House. Jill Biden had her own life, her own sense of self, her own sense of value. And they have a strong relationship, and he's not afraid of it at all. And when he's choosing people to put around him, I feel Joe Biden, especially with the choice of Kamala Harris, Alicia, is not afraid to put people around him who will challenge him, unlike President Donald Trump, who wants a bunch of stooges who will take the oath. The stupider, the better, because the more manipulative he can be. But he wants people who will absolutely say yes to everything. He never wants to hear no. Joe Biden isn't afraid to be challenged, to think things through, to see the other side of a point of view, whether it be on a foreign policy issue that is complicated or a domestic issue. He wants to make the best decisions for America. And in order to do that, you have to have the ability, you have to be man enough to be challenged. And in picking Kamala Harris, he's picked someone who's clearly got the chops, a career that she has built on her own that is very impressive, but also she's challenged him along the way.
Right. And when you talk about the strength of a man, nothing stronger than being able to pick someone who has challenged you to be in the room with you, to be your running mate, to, as he said, be the last person in the room to ask the hard questions. That was one of the returns to normalcy. It felt like we were watching yesterday. Also, I was struck by this return to empathy, this call for morality. There was a piece from Harris's remarks that didn't get as much attention as I thought it deserved, which was her saying, we need more than a victory on November 3rd. We need a mandate that proves that the past few years do not represent who we are or who we aspire to be, right? And that you also had them through this lens of the pandemic, through the lens of the economic fallout that Americans across the country have experienced, marrying two of their messages, marrying her 3 a.m. agenda, this sense that moms and dads across America are up late at night trying to figure out how they're going to make their way out of this, combined with Biden's idea of the dignity of work, of the fact that people want to get to work. Those ideas together, incredibly powerful and really meeting people where they are in this moment of uncertainty, and as they look for leadership to guide us out of this crisis.
Yeah, and just listening to you talking, watching Joe Biden together with Kamala Harris, I was reminded back in 2008, Republicans kept trying to paint Barack Obama as the second most liberal member in the United States Senate. He was a left-winger. He was a radical. But temperamentally, it just never sold, because temperamentally he was a moderate and people were comfortable with him. You look at Kamala Harris, it's the same thing. They're trying to paint her as a crazy left-winger when they're trying, on the other hand, to say she's not left-wing enough. But again, those attacks against her, that she's somehow this crazy left-wing stooge of the Democratic Party, of progressives, it's just not. I don't think it's going to sell with the American people, because temperamentally, it's just not how she presents herself. That's like when Democrats always tried to call Ronald Reagan a right-wing fascist, and he'd just sit around, well, smiling and nodding his head. It never sold. People never believed that Reagan was this crazy man that was going to start World War III. They were comfortable with him.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.